remember from my last video, these were those clips that came out of there. So, a couple of days in evapor-rust. I just put them in that small amount. So basically, I had this amount in, put it in for 2 days. It turned black. Dumped it out, put new stuff in. 2 more days, right? Yes. And that turned black. There's a lot of rust on them. But they cleaned up pretty well. I ran into just one that is broken. I think it'll be okay. Once I get it clipped in, I think it'll be okay. I don't think it'll be a big problem. So I'm okay with that. So, $1 of evapor rust and 20 minutes of my time versus $160. So, not sure if I'm going to paint them or prime them. Not 100% sure. Because really, I mean, you can't really get it down in there. I was going to put some of that rust preventer on it. Where is that stuff? Or the rust converter, should I say. But it looks like... I'll take some of this. But I don't think it really needs it because the rust is really kind of gone out of it. So they cleaned up pretty good. All right, so just kind of working on the lock here a little bit. I found something online that it's supposed to be 8 to 10 inches in. And there's a little clip that you need to push down in order to get the lock cylinder out. So that mark is 8 to 10 centimeters in, or millimeters in. So I don't know if you could see this little divot right there. See if I can get a better look at it for you. So this little divot right here. That's where that sits. But on this one, about halfway to it, is just over 13 millimeters. So, and they look the same. So I'm not 100% sure. So that line then so you can see how much further that is. So they said this is pot metal. So it's very soft. Should only be about 2 millimeters deep. So you go really, really gentle. So I'll start there and I guess I'll just keep moving back till I see it. You can see there's a slot there. You'd think you'd be able to get something in that slot and move it, but there's just not enough room. So we'll try drilling it. Oh, also, it is directly from the off position as well. They said put the key in and in the off position, but I mean, if it's off, and whether the key's in there or not, I mean, it is where it is. So, but yeah. All right. It is out. So I drilled the hole here, and then I just kind of lifted up with a little pick, actually. And it just moved it out of the way, made it easier to get to since I'm not worried about saving this. Since the whole point is because I have a new one. I wasn't worried about ruining it. It made it easier to get that out. And then you got to turn the key. Turn it to the accessories so you can pull it out a little bit. And I couldn't get it out. And then I turned it to the off position and it popped right out, which was interesting. So that is out. So we'll be able to put that one in the new one. All right, lock is in. And when I turn the key, I can hear things clicking inside here, which I would imagine opens up circuits or whatever, or makes the connections for all of these things. So success. So that was really easy. Really easy. So I just drew a line, probably closer to 10 millimeters out. And directly with the off position, I used a little punch, made a little hole, put a drill bit in, and just went real slow, and the drill bit actually kind of grabs, or at least mine did. And then if you're not worried about keeping this, you just move it over a little bit more. But if you want to just replace the lock, you can just push down and release that little spring that's in there and get it out. So that makes me happy. That was an easy 10-minute job once it's out of the car. So success. Okay, so I bought a couple of different cutoff wheels. These Chief ones are just a piece of crap. Anytime it gets stuck, it just grinds out the middle of it. So I don't know how many of those I went through just because it ruined the inside, not because the outside was ruined. So I tried one of these Diablos, and there's these Huskies. So this is the Diablo. It doesn't show that it's made for this. It's for those, but it fits. So, and I like this Diablo better because it is 1.2 millimeters thick versus 1.8. So it's a little bit thinner. So that's why I went with this one first. I haven't tried it yet. I'll let you guys know how it works. So the goal for this weekend is going to be to get that cut out and get that put in. And then get those ground down. And then I have figured out what I'm going to do for the seats. So I will let you know that as soon as I get around to doing those as well. But yeah, so that's the goal for this the rest of this weekend. All right, so I've got it all cut out. I'm gonna run into a problem back here though. I don't have that piece. I've got from here over. So I'll have to work on that and maybe just fabricate something myself. This all in here, this is all just surface rust. It's not all the way through. So what I'm gonna do is I'll get this piece in, then I'll come from the top, clean up that surface rust, and then treat it with some of that rust converter and stuff. And then just throw some primer on it. And I'll maybe, I don't know, maybe put some sort of coating in there as well. But yeah, so all that came out fairly easy. Now this back part came out in chunks, so I'll just have to measure it. But at least what I'll be able to do is put this over this, kind of line up that hole, and I'll have a general idea, and I'll just cut this a little bit bigger than what's here, and then just grind down as I need to get that to fit perfect. But I mean, I had the line all the way back here to start, but I don't need to be back that far. I'm thinking here is plenty if you look at where the hole is, you know, and that's just because it's sitting on that lip there. So I'll be able to use that kind of as a template, you know. See, I need to come up higher. That's why I did this first, so I could see where I need to come to. So glad I didn't cut this piece out and then this piece, because as I started digging away a little bit more, just a few little tidbits here and there, so you can see how rusty this was behind. So it's out, and yeah, I think we're good. I think I'll remove that tape and grind down around there so I have good metal to get to there. And then this back piece, I think what I'll do is when I come over, wherever I come over here, I'll just come straight across here. And that way when I mate this up, I can have a better idea where this needs to be cut, because it's like here and here and here. So I might just go straight across. That might just be the easiest thing to do. So I'll have to give that some thought. I just wanted to go through real quick that I cut all that out with just one of these Diablos, and it still had plenty of cutting power. It's a little rough, but compared to these cheap ones that I was replacing every 2 seconds, those did pretty good. So I'll just use those, and yeah, let's see if we can get this welded in. I'll put my helmet out, get it charged up as best I can. It's kind of cloudy out today, but I had it out all day yesterday in the direct sunlight as well. But yeah, I think I think what I'm going to do is actually going to clean up this metal while it's on here, because I think it'll be easier to grind all that stuff down. So I think I'll do that while it's all a bigger piece, something that's easier to hold on to. So I had a nice little friend come and visit me. Look at how big that guy is. Okay, so we've got it taped off. That's the line from this piece. And I needed to go a little further out. So the goal, and this line here, that line there is where it is on the car over here, and it kind of goes straight across. So I marked that, and I was able to mark that. I might make this a little more of an angle just in case, or just give myself a little bit more. I think I'll do that just in case. But the goal is to cut along the blue line of the tape and then shave down what I need. So, I mean, that should give me plenty to shave down. Can always take more off, can't put more on, right? Okay, that's about as close as I'm gonna get it. I just keep taking a little off here, a little off there. You know, I gotta take just a tad bit off right there at that corner, a tad bit off here, but I keep doing it and it just keeps gapping out on me. I'm having a tough time getting it in. So I think I'm just going to take a little more off of that and just a tad off of that and get those in, and then start welding it up. Because I could sit here all day and eventually end up with absolutely no metal at all. So I got to stop at some point in time. But this is pretty close to this line here, if you look. And then this line right here is pretty close as well. All right. Second welding job done. I'm not done. I've got to still grind it all down and everything and fill in the holes. The same with that. But I ran out of wire, so I'm gonna need to go get new wire. So I'll do that sometime, I don't know, maybe this week. But maybe I'll grind this down a little bit and grind the other one down a little bit and kind of see where I am, and then next week or next weekend, if I have time, maybe work on it a little bit more. But that piece, that's in there solid. Oh, no more rusty holes all over. So that lined up pretty good. And this one, maybe just a little off. But again, not a professional welder. This was never supposed to be pretty. Just nicer than that rusty old holy thing of that. That's what was in there. Oh, I think my weld job looks better. So I guess that'll be it for this week. Maybe I'll shoot a little bit more once I clean it up.